All right, hello guys. So this is um a series I want to do where I'm showing you guys my process as I'm working with the Labyrinthos tarot workbook. Okay. And this is the digital version of the workbook that I printed and got bounded or binded. And I know there is a really nice physical workbook that they do sell. It was a little too expensive for me, and I wanted to print this over and over when I feel like working with a new deck or a new year. So I just found this to be a lot smarter for me. Um, and so I kind of want to create this series where I'm kind of showing you guys and doing this workbook with you. All right. So, um, so in the first page, you just write down your name, you write down what deck you're using and the day you started, and table of contents. There's a talking about how to use the workbook, the structure of the tarot, and next page we have uh them explaining the major arcana. And so I just really want to show you guys this first part here because I just found this to be just really helpful. And let me just zoom in a bit. All right. So this is called Tina Gong, the creator of Labyrinthos. She calls this septenaries. So the 22 major arcana can be further divided into sections that help us to better understand each card in its place in the cycle. This is the theory of septenaries. The cards can be divided as follows. So she divides them into thirds. All right, so the conscious, unconscious, and superconscious. So cards 1 through 7, or the magician through the chariot, would be conscious. It would connect with rationality and practical concerns. And then the next section would be the unconscious, which is cards 8 through 14, which I believe is strength and strength through temperance. And this would be delving into the emotional parts and the searching for the self. And then the last is the superconscious, cards 15 through 21, which is the devil to the world. And this is the spiritual. This is the expansion of the soul. So I just found this really interesting, this little tidbit here. And then she also writes that you'll notice that the card 0, the fool, is missing from the list. This is because this is the fool's journey. And the septenaries can be thought of as a journey in itself, either as different paths or more traditionally as sections of that journey. Furthermore, the fool represents underdeveloped or undeveloped potential. They are truly a blank state. And so even on the front of the box, she has the fool here. So beautiful. I love that so much. And yeah, and I already actually did the fool and a little bit of the magician. So I'll show you a little bit of what it's like. So we begin here. She gives a little bit of a description of the card meaning. So we have the Fool being about innocence, potential, and new beginnings. And then she also talks about how the Fool inspires courage, for they understand that every new day is a chance to open up new areas of life. With that comes a mixture of anticipation, wonder, awe, and curiosity. And then she asks you to take your card of the Fool and to create a shorthand symbol for the Fool, where you're boiling down the card to its bare essence and ensure the symbol is easy to distinguish when shrunken down. So for me, I probably would have redone this because I feel like there's already too much going on here. But for me, the white rose the Fool is carrying is so symbolic. This rose right here, that is the one I chosen. Because for me, it just, the Fool is such strongly for me tying in with innocence and actually said about that blank slate and potential, right? And so that energy of the white rose is what I chose. And she also writes that you'll use this symbol for your personal legends as well as the tarot reading journals of this book. And then she goes on to talk about what are your first impressions of the Fool? Is it positive, neutral, or negative? And she asks why. And then also, if the Fool can speak, what advice would they have for you? Okay. And so I'll read you a little bit about the advice part because I thought this was really interesting, where we are personifying this archetype and feeling into what advice they would give. So I wrote that the Fool would give the advice of saying, don't be troubled, to live in the moment, see beyond your circumstance. There is a whole new world out there. Free yourself from the limitations put on you, whether that's society, the world, or etc. Be yourself, untethered, unbound, uncumbered. And then every day is a new day. So I really love that because as I was writing this, I felt just the energy of the Fool speaking to me. And also I felt I was giving this advice to myself in sync with the Fool. So I thought that was really lovely. And I am looking forward to doing that for the other cards in this deck. And she also, in the next page, we're still on the Fool. She also talks about applying this archetype to different areas of life. So love, work, and resources. What would the Fool look like in these contexts? So she also has a little prompt here saying in love, how would the Fool look like starting a new relationship? How would the Fool look like with a career change? How would the Fool look like with a new business opportunity? Okay. And then here, this section is a little more personalized. She writes these little questions in regards to the Fool. And then at the very bottom, the last thing is she talks about how the Fool being reversed, right? So it being deficient of full energy, balanced in full energy, and excess of full energy. And so deficient, she writes, feeling stuck or trapped. Imbalance is taking a chance on the new, and then excess of full energy would be never completing your projects. So I wrote some things down here. And one thing I want to share is with the Balance Fool, I actually got the scent of lemons, which I thought was really interesting. So yeah. And then on ahead to the Magician, right? So here, so she writes that the Magician is about desire, creativity, manifestation, and willpower. And the Magician symbolizes pure creative power who transforms will and intention into concrete action. I love that. Remember that you are powerful. Create your inner world and the outer will follow. And so here is my symbol. And also I would have redone this too. I would have taken these two arrows out and just do that. Because for me, the affinity sign, I really notice it in the Magician, and also about how he's connected above and below is with this arrow up and down. Because he is a channeler. He brings ideas, spirit, and materializes onto the physical plane. So, yeah. And so for me, the Magician, my first impression was that it was a neutral card. And I wrote that power in itself is neutral. It can be channeled or used positively or negatively, right? And also there's something about me noticing one arm up and one arm down. You know, it gives a very neutral feeling to me. So that's what I wrote. And if the Magician could speak, what advice would he have for you? So the magician, if he's speaking, I feel like he would say, call upon the resources around and available to you. Time to manifest your wishes, desires, dreams, aspirations. Ground your ideas in reality and take action in realizing it. Balance and use all the elements at your disposal. So there's just powerful energy in the magician. So guys, I am going to work with you a little bit. Let me zoom out. I'll place the card right here. I'm using the Radiant Wise Spirit for this. And let's do this, okay? We'll work on this together. I'll guys show you. So this is about applying this archetype, the magician, to different areas of life. So what would the magician look like? Taking a first step in love. That is a really interesting question. What would the magician look like taking a first step in love? So now I'm looking at the card. For me, I'm very clairsentient. And so I'm getting this feeling he would just take action. That's the first thing I feel. And I just got the word he would make it happen. And but I want to be a little more specific here. He would be confident. Approaching the person he desires. And as I'm writing this, I'm also feeling like he could be a little bit manipulative, right? Or not manipulative, but he could be charming. I feel like he has that trickster energy about him. And so I feel like he would flirt. He'd be a really good flirter. He would definitely find a way to get you on the first date. Yeah, smooth talker. This magician, I feel. So, I don't really have any space here, but all right, smooth. Smooth talker. Now, how would the magician look like planning a new business? You know, I feel like the magician would actually be doing charts, like pie charts, graphs, Excel sheets, doing pie charts. Excel sheets. And graphs. But I also feel like he is such a brainstormer. But he's also bringing that into reality, right? So that's why I feel like he'd be doing charts, Excel sheets, and graphs. Because you definitely need those, I feel like, planning a business. And also he'd probably be doing a business plan, definitely, yeah. Business planning. I mean, it's about planning a business, so maybe that's a little bit redundant there. How would the magician look like planning a new business? You know, the word quickly comes to mind. That he would do it quickly. And as with the Fool, I feel like the Fool was planning a new business. I feel like there really is, he wouldn't be doing pie charts. That is not the Fool. There was no pre-planning. He would just jump right into doing it, right? But the Magician, I feel like he would gather his resources. Yeah, that's another really big thing, I feel like. And I feel like he would call his connections. He would connect with people in tandem with gathering his resources, you know? I find that so interesting. You know, there's so much more in here, and if you guys can see with this page, when I printed this, it didn't print out fully edge to edge, so next time I'm gonna make sure it does that. But yeah. Okay, so last one for here is, what would the Magician look like starting a budget for goals? I mean, and this is interesting. This is about resources, but this feels very much the same as this. Him planning a new business. I feel like he would be doing pie charts, Excel sheets, graphs. But this is about starting a budget. I feel like he would be calculating and possibly selling things to get or meet that budget, right? I feel like the Magician would definitely find a smart way to budget. So, finding a clever way to budget. Selling, I'll just write selling, and you know, I just think of like eBay. I feel like the Magician would love eBay or like certain Facebook marketplaces. I feel like he would also cheat taxes. Maybe I'll just write that down on the side. Cheat taxes. And the Magician corresponds to Mercury, who was a trickster, right? So I guess that definitely makes sense for me. He would cheat his taxes. Yeah, and like I'm just gonna write find loopholes. In systems. Oh my gosh, now that just made me think about him like being a hacker. But going back to this about him starting a budget for goals. So finding a clever way to budget, selling, it's just going back to resources. Him just because he knows how to use both earth, water, air, and fire. It's all at his disposal for him to materialize. I'm trying to visualize something concrete, something specific. Hmm. You know, I feel with along about him selling his stuff. All right, selling his own uh possessions. I feel like he would like make a spreadsheet and listing all the things he doesn't need or just putting out everything. I feel like he'd do some house cleaning, you know, some spring cleaning. All right, spring cleaning. But I'll put it in quotes. Spring cleaning. Yeah. And there's probably guys, you guys let me know in the comments down what you guys would have put. I feel, I don't know, I feel like there's just so much more here that I can't currently think of as I'm recording, you know? I often like to do these, I feel like it's best to do these not recorded when you're in your own little sacred space and relaxed and just chilling and reflecting, right? And just sitting with it for a while. But yeah, so I'll just leave that for now. And one thing I do like about how this didn't print out edge to edge is that there is just these borders. You can just keep writing these footnotes or extra things that you might get. So I really do like that part of it. So the next question is, what is your career ambition? What tools do you have right now that can help you achieve it? So this is a little bit personal, so I'm going to skip those two questions. And let's go on to this. So the Magician reversed. So now that you have an origin archetype, explore its balanced and imbalanced forms, examples included. So if someone has a deficient a deficiency in the Magician archetype or energy, right? It says remaining passive and effectual. Yes, definitely, I can see that. But what else could that be? Sorry, I'm just gonna write one more thing here. So here I would say I'm writing all talk, no follow through. Is that the right word I want to use? I'll just write all talk, no action. All talk, no action.